As we mentioned earlier, we're in the Fantasy Forest, which is at Floydland Park at Tule Springs. Anyone who comes to this park knows there is plenty of wildlife, from peacocks to bunny rabbits. But now, even though it's fun to see the animals, it is illegal to feed them. Sue Levitt tells us why it is so important to follow this new ordinance.
Our city parks have been filling up with visitors, especially since the pandemic has forced many to get outside and enjoy our gorgeous weather a little more. And here at Lorenzi Park, there are many beautiful ducks and geese that call this park their home. And while you might think you're helping by bringing the animals food, feeding the birds is causing a lot more harm than good.
It's not so much the little kids with the bread, but there's people giving pizzas out to the animals, and then what happens is it attracts more, and then the population gets so large that it's hard for us to manage, and becomes a public health concern in our park system.
While the animals love the bread and all the snack food, it's just not good for them. They end up filling up on junk and then don't eat their natural food source.
They're grazers. So they'll graze on grass, and they'll find other areas, and if they have wings, so they will fly and find food somewhere else. It's okay, they're going to live, they're going to be okay if we don't feed them.
Another problem with feeding the birds, geese, and ducks, they will end up not migrating, but will stay and expect to get fed regularly. Then the population grows. 50 geese are manageable, but when we have 500 each producing a pound of excrement a day, this creates a lot of waste to clean up.
When you have 500 geese, overtaking certain areas, there's pavilions and open space that are desperately needed by the public, but we're not able to use those areas anymore because of the overpopulation of waterfowl.
The ban on feeding the animals is more of an educational campaign than an opportunity to write citations. Signs have been placed in the parks explaining why the ordinance is in place.
I think that's a pretty good ordinance. I think that for it to be passed is a good thing, and I think that people should abide by the ordinance, so we can kind of depopulate all the waterfowl and things like that. I think it's a good idea.
I'm thankful that people are loving the park so much during this pandemic. We encourage you to come out and enjoy the parks. Just please don't feed the wildlife, and don't leave your garbage behind.
For City Beat, I'm Sue Levitt.
Thank you, Sue Levitt, for that story. Now, Sue tells us that we are dealing with yet another problem at some of our parks, and that is illegal dumping. Our dumpsters are overflowing with garbage from outside the parks. You can see from the video and the photos that we're showing you the problem this creates. We want to remind you that there's a right place to dump your washers, dryers, mattresses, and other household items, and it's not in the dumpsters of public parks. You should take your larger items to the dump. Please respect our beautiful parks so we can enjoy them together.